Everyone wants a get-rich-quick scheme, and for most normal level-headed people, we know this doesn't exist. If it did, everyone would do it. Most people know it takes a lot of time to work to earn the money, unless you're selling drugs or doing criminal activities. But there are people out there who will convince you, when you're at your poorest, when you have nothing to your name, and are so desperate for help, that will convince you that they have the solution. And one of the best of this is Dan Locke, who's definitely great at what he does, except all he does is pretty much nothing apart from selling you a dream. So how does he do it? And how did he become one of the supposedly richest and most influential fake gurus out there?
Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Teeth Daggers reacts / analyzes videos. Let's see what it's gonna be today while we watch people who destroyed fake gurus in minutes by Moon. Let's get right into it.
Poor people believe that money is the root of all evil. Rich people, we believe that poverty is the root of all evil.
Well, Dan would often tell the story of being born in Hong Kong.
Oh, so profound. He just said something that everybody actually believes, but he said it in a mysterious way, a quote type of thing, trying to make his own quote. So it sounded all, he tried to make it sound all cool, but that's something everybody already fucking agrees with. It's so weird how he tried to make it sound profound. Most people already like fucking money, and we want to get fucking money because money doesn't equal happiness, but it helps, helps you live a little bit, helps you survive better in most cases. If you want to know what helps you have happiness, is fun. We've been there before. We've asked that before. But then fucking everybody doesn't like poverty. What the fuck? That was amazing. So far, I guess it's not over dramatization, clickbait. Fucking, that's my analyzation for this video so far. It's just real. That guy was being ridiculous. But he probably has a way to get people to believe in that sentence right there by saying if you landed on this video, you are thinking outside this box. You are the special one. You are the person who deserves to make the money all fast. So, I mean, let's see.
Moving to Canada at age 14 with his mother, where he would be bullied in school for being a quiet, shy Asian guy. At the age of 16, his parents divorced, and he saw his father file for bankruptcy. Watching his mother suffer with this with no money, Dan was motivated to support her. He learned how to speak, read, and write in English, and working his way up the corporate ladder. Dan always repeats that he had 14 failed business ventures before he made it, and became a millionaire by the age of 27. While this is a big accomplishment, he didn't really start making good money until he became a copywriter with the help of a close mentor who helped.
You also gotta think about when people say they own their own businesses. Dude, I say that to other people just to explain to them I kind of know what it makes a business. When I've owned a little t-shirt little thing on the side of the beach that I put together just by myself, and then I ended up hiring one person. So that could still be considering owning your own business. But they try to make it sound larger than life. I owned my own companies and they all failed. And I made it out from all of that. It's dude, I made it out from my t-shirt business failing too. Motherfucker. Okay, but we already know this guy's just trying to be a trickster.
Him open an advertising agency. There he met his wife, Jenny Lee, who was also a server at a restaurant, and the two would get married in 2015. All throughout this period, Dan was writing motivational books that were selling very well, and he also became a motivational speaker and consultant. Dan went from a quiet kid to a motivational speaker. Not only did he write motivational books that sold well, but he also spoke at TEDx twice, solidifying himself as a brilliant motivational speaker. However, selling books and motivational speaking weren't enough for Dan. He wanted more, and this led to the creation of a course titled High Ticket Closer. You might have come across the concept of high-ticket closing and thought it could be a solid career move. It's tempting, especially with those promises of those major commissions that come with selling big-ticket items. The truth is, it's a fake quick hustle and get-rich-quick scheme. What high-ticket closing really is working for fake gurus trying to convince people to buy their $10,000 courses of surface-level knowledge that they really shouldn't be buying. It's about the equivalent of being a professional scammer rather than a career. To a crowd at his own cost, people paid him to attain the same success he had. He plays on the dreams and desperation of people willing to do whatever they needed to keep their heads above water. And with a few cleverly twisted words, he made it seem like his course wouldn't fail those who paid for it and convinced them to fork over $4,000. What they didn't know was they were going to be buying into a cult. While Locke may deny it, much of what he practices in his courses is very cult-like. While his employees and students don't worship a religious figurehead, they do seem to view Dan almost like a god amongst men. It's almost
This guy is like this. Come to my free seminar showcasing in La Jolla, San Diego, Chula Vista, and Del Mar. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Come to the free seminar. We're going to teach you how to do wholesale housing, which is just a bunch of basic information. And then they're like, but if you want to join the master class, and then you go to the seminar, if you want to join the noob class, all you have to do is buy this book. But you're still a noob. If you want to join the master class, it comes with that book. And also, you can sell this package to other people to join this seminar. Join this seminar, or it's kind of like this. Join this seminar, and let me teach you how to give other people seminars. Join the pay for my seminar, and let me teach you how to get other people to pay for your seminars. This is a seminar about seminars. I get it. This guy's like Dan Kennedy.
It's made worse by the fact that he makes everyone refer to him as Shifu, a term often used in martial arts that means teacher or father and is used to pay respect to the person holding the title. He frequently proclaims that he will be his students' lifelong teacher and lead them to success, saying that calling him Shifu meant they were bonded for life.
He's like, listen, if you call me Shifu, mean it. It means we'll be bonded forever. You want to make Shifu happy, don't you?
How he portrays himself and promotes a love
That's fucking weird.
of money has a massive psychological effect on his followers and students. For example, take this instance from Coffeezilla's interview with a former Locke student, Gary.
Alright guys, I think this is more of a video reaction because Moon is not wrong here. Let's see if he actually gets cancelled.
The student in question mentions a conference he attended where Locke asked everyone to stand up.
He said, I want you to imagine that you're standing on the edge of the cliff. Sifu appears over your shoulder. And he says, I want you to jump. How many of you would jump?
According to him, a few students
What the fuck does that even mean? And there was no clarification in that. How tall was the cliff? And was it into water? If it's like a 10-foot cliff into a deep ocean and you're really good at swimming and there's no current, well, and there's rocks to climb back up. I mean, shit, I would do it.
said they would jump because they trusted Shifu. The blind trust people like this have in Dan Locke is kind of terrifying, but the cult-like behavior doesn't even end here. The courses themselves are where Locke has truly dug his claws into his poor students and seems to have taken his teacher for life mentality quite seriously. As soon as you've finished one course, you're upsold on the next one and the next. Each is more expensive and less high quality than the last, but people still pay for them because they want.
Whoa, I guess I was wrong. He just is like, buy my course, master it, and then master the next course. And by the time you're done with all these courses, you'll make a lot of money. Holy fuck. But they have spent a lot of money. Wow. I guess he's more annoying than those guys I was talking about. Because those guys actually give you something to sell. The people I was talking about where they're like, join my seminar. And we'll give you like books to sell and little packages, and you can sell my seminars, but it's free to you right now, and make other people join my seminar, sell the tickets and stuff. And like, but this guy doesn't give you shit to sell. Jesus. I guess I like the people who give you shit to sell more.
Want to please their Shifu and believe that if they do all he has told them to, they will become millionaires, that they will be just as successful as he is. He even goes so far as to imply that he's going to hire people who are not then so subtly encouraged to purchase his next course as a way to guarantee they'll get the job, only to then tell them they won't be getting hired.
This is what tipped me over the edge. Because, this guy's basically like, yeah, I want to hire you. He's like, oh, so have you joined the Closer in Black program? And he basically shamed me into doing this thing. January comes around. He's like, yeah, I decided against it. I'm not going to hire you on.
It almost seems to be a ploy used to get those who are more suspicious of his programs to keep going. One of the worst parts about this codependent relationship that many of Locke's students have formed with him is that
Well, I wonder if somebody ranked all the way up to that rank without him noticing they were about to be there. And then, then what would his sentence be? Would it just be like, good job, you did it. Now go out into the world and try your skills. He wouldn't, I don't know if he would say, let me hire you.
that many of them are starving, don't have jobs, or have gotten themselves into massive amounts of debt and can no longer.
But it's super true. If he mastered all their courses, he should fucking hire them for, if he needs employees, they should be the main employees. If he actually gives a shit about this, but he doesn't.
Longer afford to pay for the courses, and his employees will encourage them to take out more loans. Those who have managed to shatter the realities painted for them often don't speak.
Whoa, his employees? He did hire some of them. His employees had to pay for more courses. Did I hear that right?
That many of Locke's students have formed with him is that many of them are starving, don't have jobs, or have gotten themselves into massive amounts of debt and can no longer afford to pay for the courses, and his employees will encourage them to take out more loans. Those who have managed to shatter the realities.
Oh no, the people he employs are like, I finished the course and now look where I am. Just take out more loans and finish it and it'll be worth it. Oh, I get it. Yeah, fuck this guy.
Painted for them often don't speak out about what he has done, either because they're too embarrassed to admit they fell for a scam, or because when they do, Locke tries to silence them. According to CoffeeZilla, one of the things that encouraged him to start going after Dan Locke was a story he heard about a teacher who tried to expose Locke.
I talked to, for example, a teacher who put in $25,000, was in debt at one point, and has nothing to show for it. I know, and it was sort of these tactics of pressuring, and then anytime anyone would complain, he would try to silence them. So
she created a Facebook group explaining that his course was a scam and that it hadn't worked for her and many others. So Locke responded by suing her in an attempt to shut her up. Stories like this and the fact that Locke has no issue taking advantage of vulnerable people despite his background caused CoffeeZilla to refer to him as the reverse Robin Hood. Although it does seem like the consequences of his actions started catching up with him, as people began to notice that Locke never revealed how he makes money to his viewers. A writer on Medium.
That's how he fucking made the money. What are they talking about? He made the money with his. They couldn't figure that out. Didn't they know that all the money from his course is his business? Huh?
Hanin Abufa talks about how all the people know that he has multiple streams of income from multiple businesses, and this is how he affords his luxurious lifestyle. And yet the only thing he ever mentions is copywriting, and as far as she is aware, there are no millionaire copywriters. How he makes his millions is not the only thing he's lied about either. In 2020, it came out that Locke didn't actually own the $35 million home he had claimed. The house was actually only valued at $13 million. And not only was Locke renting it out, but he had failed to pay his landlord. Locke alleged that he was terminating his tenancy because of numerous deficiencies discovered by home inspection, including heating and plumbing. And so of course the landlord commenced a home inspection of his own and discovered that there were absolutely no deficiencies that would render the rental property unfit for habitation as he had claimed. After Locke left the house on December 31st, it was discovered that it was in a state of disrepair and that the tenants failed to pay rent per their fixed term lease. This wouldn't be the last time that Locke landed in hot water. In 2020, Business Explained revealed that Locke had been charged with copyright infringement and plagiarism and could spend up to 2 years in prison with millions of dollars in damages. These charges were in relation to the work he had stolen from other creators such as Alex Charlton and
So far, it wasn't just one person that took this guy out. CoffeeZilla was just the most popular person. But so far, it's legal. It's the law that takes him out. All this... Well, maybe the law started investing after that CoffeeZilla thing. Usually does happen, I guess.
Promoted as his own for his Dragon 100 path.
This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an accident. This is clear, belligerent, over-the-top content theft.
He was called out by Spencer Cornelia a few months earlier, who made an entire video detailing how Locke had been copying content for years. And then CoffeeZilla jumped on this too. And over time...
See? What the fuck? Okay. In minutes. But he just said in overtime. Alright. I hate to do this. It's turning into a video analyzation, and you know what I'm gonna say. This is a completely fake title to get you guys to click on it. I don't care how much you like Moon and you want to defend him and say I'm stupid and I'm smoking crack. This is a completely fake title to get new viewers to click on it. We just heard him admit it himself. Over the years. This video is called In Minutes. So, that's what it is. And it is what it is. But how can you hate on that if it's entertaining content? So for those of you who want to hate on small creators just for making entertaining titles for their entertaining content, ask yourself, how else do you want those small creators to grow? Now there's faking it to make it, which is also sort of the same. And then there's hardcore mashing, which just means hopefully one day you'll be discovered by the algorithm, which is probably the best way to do it. But you know, there's that way, and then there's like connections, and then there's like if you get on somebody's stream, like stream snipe them, which isn't necessarily a connection, but chat likes you, or maybe you can win one of those dating games. I guess there's a bunch of different ways, right? But you can't complain when this video has been so interesting and it's pure clickbait. He said it so right here himself. You can't complain because we're going to keep watching it even though we got clickbaited to watch it because it's interesting as fuck. And it is what it is.
Everyone now knows the truth about Dan Locke, but unfortunately there are many more financial gurus out there, like Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki himself might not be a name that you recognize, but if we mention the name of his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, almost everyone knows the title.
Whoa! That's the fucking... He's sort of like a scammer. See, he gives people like this mindset that they're like super unique and the kind of like what I was saying earlier, and the ultimate one, and they could fucking do it. But and that kind of and they're saying like, and they say also like you're open-minded for believing in this shit, and that actually closes their mind off for anything else besides what this guy says. And that would, I don't know how that's considered a scam, but that's kind of like a little bit weird. I don't know how the fuck he scammed people though.
Even if you haven't read it. The reason is Robert Kiyosaki's book was perhaps one of the most successful financial books out there. At first he self-published, but later on, Warner Books took it on and grew in popularity. Sales grew to over 41 million copies, so it's no surprise that Robert is of course extremely wealthy. He clearly offers people knowledge on how to get rich, and some pretty basic financial advice, liabilities and investments. But there's much.
Oh, but he got rich through the book? Is that what I'm about to say? So what? Dale Carnegie was like that too. I mean Napoleon Hill.
Much more to Robert than first meets the eye, and to understand why, you first need to understand how he became wealthy in the first place. Robert began his success in 1985 when he
Napoleon Hill wrote a fucking book basically saying how I achieved all my dreams. But he wasn't lying because he didn't say he got rich. But he tried to make it seem like he got rich by naming all the book titles of his books, all these crazy, like, unlocking the master key system. Unlock your mind, get rich. Think and grow rich. All these fucking titles, dude. All of them had to do with getting rich, but he never, ever got rich. But he didn't mention he got rich, yo. He didn't lie. He just said he achieved his dreams. And what his dreams were was to write books about rich people. And so he actually got to meet all these rich people, write books about them. And that's how he got rich. So I'm guessing this is sort of going to be like that.
founded a company called Accelerated Learning Institute. This would kick off his trade of teaching sales, entrepreneurship, investing, and social responsibility. This means he first made his money by teaching other people how to make money, something almost all of these fake gurus do, and something he would continue to do throughout his entire life.
If you take the modern world, where people are trying to teach you how to come in and trade actively in stocks.
What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader here. I want to teach you. I want to help you.
Well, I regard that as roughly equivalent to trying to induce a bunch of young people to start off on heroin.
We're here to support you. I want to see you on this jet with us next time. It's awesome, and you can totally do it. You love jets too. You love jets too. Admit it. You just don't know it.
It is really stupid. And when you're already rich, to make your money by encouraging people to get rich by trading.
If you're a millionaire, why sell a course?
Then there are
That had to be fucking edited.
people on the TV, and they say, I have this book that will teach you how to make 300% a year.
The millionaire booklet's going to give you 8 steps.
Warren Buffett's even fucking dissing them? Jesus.
Guess what?
And all you have to do is pay for shipping.
First, you're going to pay shipping and handling.
In 1994, after investing
That's funny. My friend had a book like that where it was free, but you paid for shipping and handling.
in real estate, which did pay off massively, he wrote his first book, If You Want to Be Rich and Happy, Don't Go to School. The book did okay, and there wasn't anything inherently wrong with the book at all, but due to its mild success.
Dude, okay, I used to believe in not going to school to like chase your real dreams, but the whole problem with that is by the time you exit school, by the time you graduate, you're still really fucking young. And all that does, even if you hate what you graduated with, all it does is give you one extra option in life. Hello. So then you'll be like 20 years old and you'll still have like, it only takes like 4 years of hardcore mashing to achieve your dream, unless you're trying to do something like entertainment, which sometimes will take longer because it's not like you gotta build it yourself, I guess. You gotta build it yourself. You can't just like go to the store and buy 5 t-shirts for $20 or 5 t-shirts for like $2 each or whatever, and for 5 t-shirts for $10, go to the beach and set them up for $10 each, right? You can, and sit there on the beach all day until they sell, and then re-up on the t-shirts and maybe sell more the next day. You with a business, you can start it directly. Like, if you don't have any money, or let's say you only have $10, you could, instead of a burger, you could buy flyers and print the flyers and put them up everywhere for your business. Right? Which reminds me, I need to do that for my YouTube channel. But yeah, there's always something you could do for your business. Put up flyers late at night. That's only like $10. If you wanted to start a t-shirt business, go to wholesale t-shirt mart. It's $10 plus tax, so like $11-12. Like 11, yeah, it turns out to be like $12 for fucking 10 t-shirts. And then all you have to do is get some waters. What I mean is, the reason they're both building something, being an entertainer and being a businessman. But being a businessman, that type of goal, if that's your goal, right, is you could do it immediately. But entertainers, the only way they could do it immediately is if they get really lucky with like a one-hit wonder type of deal. But the thing is, most people don't know that the one-hit wonder people were rapping or doing their thing for a long time, and then they did something that was a one-hit wonder. So even that kind of takes a long time. But, I disagree. I used to totally agree with the school thing, because I was like, if you get out of high school, start out when you're like 17 years old and start fucking chasing your dreams and make a business, you'll have a fucking business by the time you're 25. But the problem with that is you could be out of school by the time you're 25. And, if anything, you can use the job that you get out of school to fucking boost your business so it happens in 4 years instead of 10 years. And you'll be like, what, 26, 27? And the thing is, I thought about that a long time ago when I was young, but I was like, 26 and 27 is too old. But it's fucking not. So just go to school, hate your degree, and don't do it. But at least you'll have it, bro. Like, what the fuck? Have one extra option.
Success, he would then write another book, and 3 years later, Rich Dad Poor Dad would be born, whilst at the same time, he opened up a new company called Cash Flow Technologies Inc. From here, there would seem to be a pattern forming with opening various companies. Some are successful, some aren't. But as he was called out on the David Pakman show, a caller on the show would be one of the first to call him out.
But a rich person like Kiyosaki writes a scam book, this Rich Dad Poor Dad scam book. Then he gets in bed with
Said,
how is it a
what
scam
was your
book?
business?
I had a couple of businesses, Sisal, and I guess one was pretty successful, but they were both kind of successful. I actually had 3 businesses, and that's what I'm saying. These guys say they have 3 businesses when they just were like this. One of my businesses, as I went to I was about to go get a hamburger.
Sisal_ said, did you sell weed?
No, I sold t-shirts, and that one blew up big enough to where I had to hire a person, because there was so much underground work behind it that it was like working 24/7, and eventually I couldn't really sell the t-shirts. I just had to do all the other business, like fucking. So I was getting to the point where I was starting to order t-shirts from like China for like cents, which is like bad, but I was like doing all this fucking shit, building websites and shit. And so I couldn't afford it, but I had to hire somebody. Like, it was too much. I'm serious. You had to like update the website like every day alone. Fucking, that was intense. Maybe I should have hired somebody to do that, and me sold the shirts. Because the guy selling the shirts ended up hating his job and said, I gotta get paid more for this. And I was like, we're 2 people out here. I'm a smaller business than you think. But basically, I started off, I was about to be like homeless, I think. Or not homeless, but I was 17 and I don't think I had a place to go. So I fucking I had $10 and my friend told me, we're going to eat with that $10, but right across the street is T-shirt mart. They sell 5 T-shirts for $10. And I went and bought 5 T-shirts instead of a burger. And that day, while they went, because their plan was to go get burgers and go to the beach. And that day, while they were eating burgers at the beach, I just sold the T-shirts. And they sold pretty quickly because it was summertime tourist season in Mission Beach in San Diego. And they all just said, I love San Diego. And I was selling them for cheaper than everybody else around. And it was the same shirt. And so that was my business. And then it started taking off when I added stuff to it, like waters and ice creams. And then I had this big sign that said, ice cold water. And then everybody would come for that sign, but then they would be like, oh, T-shirt. And then that was my T-shirt business. And then I had a business where I gave surf lessons. And that one was successful, but I hated it so bad because I was like in the water for like 4 or 5 hours at a time sometimes like 6 or to 8. And then like I wouldn't even surf myself, and I'd be freezing cold in this soaking wet wetsuit that wasn't working anymore, and I'd be wrinkly and I couldn't even drive home because my legs would be so solid and tight from being in the cold water all day. And so I was like, fuck this business. Even though it kind of is the easiest business to do. All you have to do is put up flyers saying surf lessons and make it look professional, and people will just show up. Be like, La Jolla Shores, surf lessons, $60. And they'll just do it. Like nothing. And then I had another business. The third business was... those are the 2 I remember. I think I had another one, though. It might have just not worked out for me so well. Oh! Dude, I was a fake personal trainer. I saw I got the ideas from the surf lessons. So,
Sisal_ said, that's awesome.
yeah. So I was doing all of this because I was like, fuck it, I'm 17. I'm gonna fucking make a business, and then I won't even need to go to college. But that's because when you're 17, you think 27
Sisal_
is really old.
said, can't just put up posters and teach stuff now, lol.
I still do, dog. That's how I survive sometimes. Right now, I'm trying to make it in the streaming world, though. But like I said, it might take a long time, which is okay. I'm down for the ride. I'm not in any rush about it. I'm literally watching TV, talking to Sisal, and fucking smoking bowls. Oh, this is so hard. So fucking hard.
Flow Technologies Inc. From here, there would seem to be a pattern forming with opening various companies. Some are successful, some aren't. But as he was called out on the David Pakman show, a caller on the show would be one of the first to call him out.
But a rich person like Kiyosaki writes a scam book, this Rich Dad Poor Dad scam book. Then he gets in bed with Amway, which is a scam multi-level marketing thing.
Yes.
And forces Amway people to buy his book.
Although the companies...
How is that bad? He just fucking scammed scammers. Are you mad at that, chat?
Roberts owned aren't his only source of income. He's not only earning royalties from his book, but also from about 7,000 investment properties which establish about $1 million a month as passive income. Seemingly on the surface,
How is he a scammer? It seems like he's just good at making money. I'm confused.
doesn't seem to be anything wrong.
Oh, because of like what I said, the book is bullshit. Oh, well, everybody writes those bullshit books to get rich, though. It's called fiction. Jesus Christ. Oh no, a fictional book. Here we go, guys. This is what I'm talking about. People who destroyed their fake gurus in minutes. This guy might not even be a fake guru. He's just a guy who wrote a fictional book and then scammed scam artists. So far, that's what he did. I'm waiting for him to scam the actual people. He joined a multi-level marketing, and I thought he was gonna do something creepy with that. No, he just made them buy the fucking book. So, well, here we go.
Wrong with this guy. He gives fairly basic financial advice, has a bunch of companies, and seems like a generally successful guy. What's the problem? Well, according to an expose from the College Investor, there's a darker side to Robert. In the expose, they showed specifically how Robert's businesses went bankrupt after failing to pay the proper royalties on his seminars. But the story actually goes a lot deeper than this. So the website exposed more about what Robert really does. Not only did Robert...
He didn't pay the hotels for this, for the seminar space. How did he get away with that? They just trusted him? That's pretty funny, though. Dude, he's just scamming, he's not scamming people so far. He just, okay, the other thing he just mentioned is he didn't pay the hotels for the seminar space. He's definitely a scam artist. But I don't know if he's, well, he scammed people into buying the book. And the fictional book, and he made people think it's non-fiction. I guess that's the scam. My book, my fiction book, is non-fiction. Ooh. Dude, this show is weird.
Robert dragged the company his name was attached to through the mud for unethical practices, but he failed to practice what he preached too. In August 2012, his then company Rich Global LLC filed for bankruptcy because the courts ordered a payment of about $24 million to Learning Annex. Ironically, Rich Global LLC...
Dude, that's just another smart move. Instead of paying the $24 million, he was like, I'm bankrupt, here's this business, it's not even attached to my name. Like, it is, but it's not even I don't get the credit hurt from that.
Didn't have the funds to support such a payout. The problem was that Rich Global LLC agreed to pay a percentage of his profits when he spoke at public engagements promoting his book, but Learning Annex never received said profit percentages and was forced to take the legal route to settle. Robert declared bankruptcy and closed the books on that company, leaving the employees jobless. And it seems that while Robert's pockets...
Oh, that's how... That's how he got the hotels to agree. He had some kind of contract that they'll get a percentage. And he was with some company that got him into the hotels. Get it? Got it. I get it.
While aligned with silver and gold and personal capacity, the fact is that those under his leadership would only be considered his pawns while he had use for them. Had he honored his agreements with Learning Annex, Rich Global LLC might have still been Rich Global instead of another bankrupt business under Robert's belt. Quote, even though his advice may sound good, be an owner, invest in cash flow investments, etc., the fact that he or his business didn't maintain solid financial health is just sad. For years, he's been called out as a quote fake guru and somebody who actually gives bad financial advice. Even the company he allegedly started is in question. According to a Forbes article, even the book that made him famous has its issues. No one has ever proven that Rich Dad, the man who supposedly gave Kiyosaki all his advice for wealthy living, ever actually existed. Nor has anyone ever documented any vast reserves of wealth earned by Kiyosaki prior to the publication of Rich Dad Poor Dad in 1997. Yet when the word...
Yo! The funny thing is, I was living in La Jolla, and one of my neighbors was the poorest, well, he was like the poorest guy in La Jolla. But if you've heard anything about La Jolla, at one point, and during my lifetime, it had the highest property value in all of America. And it's still pretty rich. It's just not the richest anymore. And so this guy, even though he was the poorest guy in the whole neighborhood, La Jolla is a really small neighborhood. It's a couple blocks. So, you know, people knew who he was. He drove a beater around and stuff. He didn't have multiple cars. He just barely made it into La Jolla with his life, basically. And, but he suggested, like, I think he suggested, like, books like that to me, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So, like, he got kind of rich from reading those books. Like, he was the richest, poorest guy, or the poorest rich guy, and, you know, besides me. Me and my very next door neighbor, we lived in the only duplex on the whole block. And then he was like one house over, and he was like a little bit richer than us because he was a Jaguar collector, but none of his Jags worked. And then the one car that worked was a fucking beater. And then he lived in a pretty good house, pretty big size house.
When scam comes up, people used to think somebody shady or underhanded with a quick wit to cleverly outsmart someone for financial gain. Today, we know it's different, with people like Logan Paul and CryptoZoo and a bunch of other huge influencers using their fame and fortune to scam their audiences. And while I'm not saying Robert Kiyosaki is a scammer, you wouldn't expect a well-established millionaire to have some predatory—
Whoa, he just admitted that he's not a fucking scammer. Oh, he's a fake guru.
business practices. And when I say predatory, he isn't outright scamming, and he isn't doing criminal acts, but he does have some questionable businesses. For example, Robert runs his Rich Dad educational courses like a peddling drug dealer. The first course is free and often comes with an invest in yourself mentality.
You're fulfilling your true purpose if you commit your life to the highest advantage of others.
Basically preparing you to want to pull out the credit cards as you move over to the second course.
The highest advantage of what? No, all you just have to be able to do is be able to do anything that you would have fun doing.
At a price of $500, and the third at such a double-taking rate of $45,000.
Pilot Institute is educating the next generation of pilots. With more than 15,000 five-star reviews, see why Pilot Institute is the new standard.
Now,
I'm not gonna lie, this is like a typical strategy. They're hoping for like 1 or 2 people to buy it. And I'm also not gonna lie, since you guys know me as being super transparent, I got my fucking, I don't think it'll work. Just like this guy doesn't think it'll work, but he hopes he gets to enough people that maybe 1 or 2 people, it's like a numbers game for him. He's like, if I get to 1 million people, maybe a couple of them will actually pay me $45,000. Maybe it's like monthly too, right? Since I am about finances. And I'm gonna be honest, the reason I put that $1,000 thing there on goal is because I don't expect it to be made, and I don't care if it is made. But maybe one person will, maybe like Mr. Beast or something, will be like, alright, fuck it. Or Penguin Zero gives money all the time away. So it's maybe he'll be like, alright, fuck it. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping one day like Penguin Zero or you know, one of those fucking guys to come in here and be like, fuck it, here's $1,000. We'll see if it happens.
Of course, most courses aren't always scams. A lot of the times you pay more money to get great information and learn more about your
numbers game is what I'm pointing out there. I hope after I stream like 1 million times, Penguin Zero will be like, this guy looks like his stream says he needs a house. Alright, let's do it. Boop. There's your house, buddy. Hope you're not lying. And then, alright, next. Because he always does that, you know what I mean? So, like, that's how I got the idea. I was like, maybe somebody from Penguin Zero's stream will tumble across my stream, and then maybe they'll be like, tell Penguin Zero or some shit like that. Super hopeful. 1 in millions. Not just 1 in a million, but 1 in like maybe billions of people who are on YouTube. It would be like 1 in a billion odd that I'm going for. But I think, I mean, I stream every day, so fuck it, dude. One of these days it might happen.
Craft from specialists, and I don't actually have anything against this stuff. I think it's fair to charge for advice. However, it's important to be reasonable for your services and what you're actually providing. You see, if you're trying to help someone get rich and provide value, $495 could be reasonable, but how could $45,000 ever be reasonable for any personal finance class? Furthermore, would you ever pay that given the credibility issues raised by the teacher himself? It's the same thing that many fake gurus do and why they're so hated. Even Grant Cardone came for Robert Kiyosaki. After Kiyosaki explained how much he disagreed with Cardone's work, Cardone shot back calling out Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Understanding that his rich dad didn't ever actually exist, he explained that he wasn't sure Kiyosaki even wrote the book himself.
Just do more of what you say, dude. Why don't you own $4 billion worth of real estate?
During these courses, it's also reported that it's almost...
He does own a bunch of real estate, though. What the fuck? I'm confused.
forcefully shoved down your neck that you have to buy the next course if you're already this invested. And so it stands to reason that you would feel it is the next step to being successful in your life, especially if you're desperate. Again, this is an implied get-rich-quick scheme that always seems to disappoint, whilst yet the devil is in the details. With some courses that are on offer for $99, they'll eagerly be bought, and before you know it, you're sucked into a 6-month contract because you didn't read the fine print. Now, Robert is clever enough to keep the safety of a 1-month money-back guarantee, but most can't get a response within that month, so the guarantee falls away anyway, leaving a 6-month commitment added to an already stressed out budget. Much like Dan Locke, Robert knows his audience and preys on the desperate and hopeful with these courses that pan out to be nothing more than motivational hype mixed with sales or financial tips. Then there's multi-level marketing, which is another more complicated name for a pyramid scheme. However, according to Robert Kiyosaki, a pyramid scheme isn't bad because much like a business, since just like a boss, there's a boss at the top and people get paid less and less as it goes down the ladder. He even has his own word for them, calling it network marketing instead.
Let me tell you why I endorse network marketing.
Pyramid schemes are really fucking bad because it's like directly building somebody else's business. It's not like you're even working at a job getting paid. You're just like, you have a chance to get paid, and then when you do, you're building their business, and then in order to have that chance, you have to pay them. You're like, it's really bad. What the fuck is this guy talking about? It's like the worst. It's like fucks people over who are trying to get out of a bad situation and shit.
Marketing, a way I call it the power of it.
And Robert straight up calls this a sound business choice.
So we're talking about a subject that a lot of people misunderstand. It's called network marketing.
And this starts to make sense when he's at the top of most of these schemes anyway. Amway, for example, is a controversial pyramid scheme linked to many fraudulent scandals, and for the most part, people know this to be one of the get-rich-quick schemes. In fact, CoffeeZilla is one of those who exposed and showed the reality of Amway.
That's funny. I knew it was all gonna be CoffeeZilla. I wanted to say it earlier, but I had a feeling.
Seriously, if you work a minimum wage job at McDonald's, you're making more than 90% of Amway employees.
Robert too was involved with this company, and although he has since parted ways with Amway, he still made millions from the MOM. Robert talks about his cash flow quadrant and breaks it down to 4 key areas.
So E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, small business or specialist like a doctor or a lawyer. B stands for big business, 500 employees or more, and I stands for investor.
In his books and seminars, he will tell you that MOM is a B, but everyone else involved in a multi-level marketing scheme is an E. And the explanation is obvious for a few reasons. In multi-level marketing, you are a small fish in a big pond. Business without you could continue as normal, and you can get fired or drop out, whereas a big business owner losing their owner is a big problem. You're not in full control, so MOM is an E, a sales rep working on a sliding scales commission structure at best. If, however, However, you are successful, then you might be pushed into an S, but it comes with more cost for training material, and basically it still could be lost as the trade is unstable and those underneath you could drop out. So a very shaky S at that, who would sign up under you, and so the web of marketing flows. But there are so many risks and costs hidden underneath. Under the banner of investing in an MLM, it is nothing short of an administration fee, because as you sign up, there is no existing business that you're investing to. You will still need to generate that business for it to be successful. As MLMs aren't selling a business, they're selling a dream to desperate people. In 2007, Robert was encouraging everyone to invest in real estate, just before the housing crash happened in 2008.
And they'll be actually talking about a real estate deal that we have done where we got an infinite return.
From a financial perspective, it seems like Robert didn't do his homework. And while the market may be unpredictable, perhaps you shouldn't be advising such a huge risk in an area of such instability. And now today, he goes on podcasts talking about how he's happy to be billions in debt and how all successful people are.
I'm $1 billion in debt.
You're $1 billion in debt.
In fact, in 2012, Robert Kiyosaki went bankrupt over a few class action lawsuits because the stuff in his course was not worth the value of the price it cost, making you wonder if being in debt really is a great thing after all. In fact, ABC 2020 did a test of sending 3 people out with $1,000 with a time frame of 20 days under Robert's personal guidance, and all 3 failed to produce an income from it. The conclusional result.
What? Oh, because they had to use his guidance. I'm sure they still could have done it. What the fuck? How did they not do it? It's a free $1,000. You couldn't make $1?
Results were that Robert never actually gave any direction on how to get started or gave any concrete instruction, but it only left you feeling apt about possibly making it big.
Oh, he made $243 profit. What the fuck? How come he just said nobody made anything?
Seems like Robert was good at making people believe that there is something out there, and some of the teachings are good, and making people optimistic about their financial future is a great thing to do, but it doesn't really satisfy what he presents that you will achieve. And
$243 profits, 20%. That's good. I wonder what he did. Traded in the stock market? He just got lucky with one trade, huh?
Taking his course. And this is the type of thing that many are calling Kiyosaki out for today.
And the reason why I'm so against these educational events is because of how much they charge and how much they prey on the weak and vulnerable.
And although he's been called out as a fake guru by many YouTubers and people online, he's been relatively unscathed. And to be fair, isn't anywhere near as bad as the other people on this list. Something that this next fake guru can't say.
Hell yeah, guys. If you like that video and you want to finish watching it in its entirety, make sure to type in people who destroyed fake gurus in minutes by Moon. Type it into YouTube search bar. You'll see Moon right here. M-O-O-N. And that being said, guys, if you like this episode of Teeth Daggers Reacts / Analyzes videos, make sure to subscribe below. Find me at twitch.com/teethdaggers.